guys, Mecha-san here. Okay, so yeah, Gamescom on it's still ongoing right now, and they released a couple of stuff for Halo. Like for example, the limited edition exclusive Halo Infinite themed Xbox Series X, or the X block as I like to call it, which is worth $550. Yeah, limited edition. I mean, honestly, it could have been a lot more expensive. If there's a holiday sale, I'd be all for that. It fit perfectly with the. I mean, I got the Gears themed Xbox One X here, so. And yeah, they also released the cinematic intro for Halo Infinite's multiplayer season 1. So they're going with a bit of like a Spartan Ops kind of thing here with this multiplayer. I mean, I had no problems with Spartan Ops here, like post-game story content here, like without having the Master Chief here. It's like what the Infinity was doing now that they got Requiem and stuff. It's like, yeah, it's like almost like the stuff that you normally see in, say, expanded universe lore, like the books and comics and such. Speaking of, I just finished reading the final book in the 4 saga, Halo Silentium, and I'm currently reading Halo Fractures. Like, I finally can continue on from there. So, yeah, I'm all for that here, and I'm curious as well here, because I also heard what happened. Halo Infinite's gonna be released without campaign co-op and no Forge. Doesn't bother me much in any way, shape, or form. I don't really do much of campaign co-op most of the time here, and Forge, I don't go with Forge that much. Just, Forge, playing Forge is not as much fun with a controller. Like, you really need a mouse and keyboard, and from what I gathered. I mean, I know people do some incredible stuff with a console and just the keyboard. I'm just saying from personal experience, I just don't have the patience or the time to invest all that here. I got a lot to do. It's all just a hobby for me. It's being here, just a relaxing time. So yeah, I mean, let's take a look what we got here. I also know that like a few new Halo books gonna come out. Is that London? London! Okay, there's like Big Ben. So what? It's Neo London? Oh. Okay, interesting.
Why are you here? To fight. To win. To be a Spartan.
Very much Scorpion. Uh-oh. We hear that. That's the Spartan's gonna come soon. That's a chieftain. Oh no, or not chieftain, but a high-ranking one. A brood with these brute shot.
What is a Spartan?
Nice animation. You would think they'd pick up the smell. Uh-oh.
A Spartan.
Nice features on the brute.
Hope. Where there is no
Okay, which Spartan is that? Nice.
in times of darkness. We are
Kind of. All right. A symbol in times of darkness, we are hope. Yeah, like that. Hope fell from the sky for you. Ah, and the sun's rising and everything. They're the Spartans. Oh yeah, like. Oh, look at the size difference of the hands.
together
But I like that scene right there. The Spartans. Ooh, not.
Candidates, are you ready? Yes, ma'am. I can't hear you. Ma'am, yes, ma'am. Again. Ma'am, yes, ma'am. Good. Who's first?
I like that. She went from civilian trying to escape with her life to seeing the Spartans and now becoming one. She worked towards it. Awesome. Okay, let's first start off here. I like if you immediately want to know, oh, what sort of generic sci-fi world this is, sci-fi state this is, but immediately tell you, no, we're on Earth. This is London. This is what London looks like in Halo, the 26th century here. How do you know it's London? Because here's freaking Big Ben. At least that's gotta be Big Ben here. It's like, so I gotta wonder, are they taking a small bit of inspiration from the old Mass Effect 3 trailer here, where you had that Corporal Toombs. No, it wasn't Corporal Toombs. Corporal Toombs was the character from Mass Effect 1 here, but that soldier guy who used Big Ben as a watchtower to like snipe at husks, and that just being iconic here because it's a recognizable landmark and everything. It really shows bad here, and then we see just a Covenant Phantom come in here. So set during the invasion of Earth, and I like seeing this here because, yeah, it wasn't just New Mombasa. There were other areas of Earth here. This is actually something that has been touched upon. Yeah, okay, touch upon the comics before here, that issue where when Ackerson was captured by the Covenant, he was able to buy Earth some time by making up this whole key thing that his brother, who was down there as well, like recognized, and yeah. So yeah, we see the invasion Earth. So yeah, she's British there. Like the city is also instantly recognizable in a way here, even though you can sort of see all these towers and think it kind of looks like any other like typical sci-fi city we've seen here from, again, like Mass Effect, some of the examples I've seen in Star Citizen, and so on and so forth here. But at the same time, it also kind of resembles some of the cityscape we see in New Alexandria in Reach. It just, it's nighttime and not the dust and everything like that. So it makes me wonder how different it would look like during the morning. So it's a cool scene right here, and we see like, yes, evading the enemy, and I guess right there. Let me see. Okay, yeah, it's a Banshee right there. I'm pretty sure more because I don't know much of the configurations. What's the proper terminology for the different forms of Banshees to sort of, because Banshee comes in many forms, and those forms denote where exactly it was forged. It's like for example, and it also extends to the armor. Like, for example, if one form of Banshee could denote that it was made up by this planet, by the artisans of one planet, stuff like that, or a keep. But yeah, I gotta admit, I like her look right there, where it's like terror. She's afraid, but she's trying to keep in control here because panicking will not help. So she's trying to invade. This little bee here, I can't help if that. I think it's a pretty on the nose reference to the very obscure I Love Bees promotional thing they did a few years ago. I only heard about that. I heard about that a couple years back here. I never even knew about that. Was very early on here. Like, I didn't get into Halo until the third game when I actually got a 360. So I don't recall this campaign. But we see the brutes there. going down the road and everything. And here we've got, this is like in the Avery Johnson, like what, training ground, I think.
Why are you here?
I like how we see the pelican there and everything. Ooh. Yeah, and this is a in a post-created world here. Like the Cortana and the Created technically won. I haven't read the book yet, but in the Bad Blood book, which is kind of set directly after the events of Halo 5, yeah, it's like at this point, Cortana, the war with the Created technically is done. Now they're just the Resistance. But of course, now Halo Infinite centered around the Banished, so we don't know what role the Created have, if any, in that game here. And I like how they're keeping us in the dark on that. To fight? Are you here? To win? Every typical answer they give is generic military recruit training answer here: to fight, to win, and the most popular, no doubt, for this course, to be a Spartan. You see the difference here, though, like the size difference between those guys, like all the changes they do to them. I wonder if they finally got a name for one of the procedures they do, because I remember like reading in the comic about when Sarah Palmer was going through the Spartan 4 procedure. She mentioned how one of the new things they added to her is so new that they don't even have a name for it yet. Okay, let me see those rifles here. Actually, Okay, we got a Scorpion tank, which is cool. What the? Isn't that like a storm rifle? Yeah. Oh, but yeah. These are the new. These are the new Covenant weapons we see in Halo Infinite. Okay. This is one where I know a lot of the hardcore Halo nerds are gonna question. Wait, what? Why do they have this? I mean, okay, if this is set during the events of like the Battle of Earth during the Covenant War, which so far it kind of looks like it. I could be wrong entirely, but shouldn't they have like Covenant brute plasma rifle, the old school stuff? I guess they couldn't bring it in, but that being said, I still like the detail on the armor here. Like, yeah, like it still pretty looks traditional. Even though the brutes do look a lot less hairy. Yeah, like, shouldn't one of these guys, I don't know, be red? I mean, that's blue. Isn't blue still a minor rank? I guess. Okay. Yeah, they definitely went with the more cleaner looking brutes here. I don't know if they've always been this. Boy, it makes me want to play the old like Halo 3. Yeah. Actually, Halo 2. Because I look back in Halo 2, new cinematic they got for that. Brutes look, well, a lot more gorilla simian, more feral creatures. This one here, or like that one from Halo Wars too. A Spartan, I like how you're saying, a Spartan is a symbol, hope, and then this scene came in here. A Spartan is a symbol, and then the Spartan lands, the, okay, I gotta admit, that is the cleanest exit I've seen from, an orbital pod, a drop pod right there. And that is the cleanest, that is the most, like, it was just, the way the hatch came off, it was like it just lowered down. Normally those things have explosive bolts, like they just shoot out. I mean, maybe it's a safety precaution, it didn't do that because in the way here, but wow. And then the Spartan here, it's like the Spartan was already standing. Was always standing. Because if you look back in the scene in Halo 2 here, the new cinematic here, where yeah, the chief drops into into Delta Halo. Yeah, he's first sitting down. You can tell he got up and grabbed the weapons and such. Here it's like they've always been standing. But yeah, these are like the Spartan 4s, because there were some Spartan 4s. The expanded lore showed there were some Spartan 4s active. Or something, yeah. Small grade. I don't know, it's still a little confused, still a little like hazy. The original like class of Spartan 4s. So I like the armor. I think the only issue is that it looks too modern. The armor, like it's clearly like almost post Covenant War era armor. I don't know, man, it's a nitpick, but yeah, like since you said hope, he nods. Hope where there is none. I like that here. We saw the shields in action, how they are, because I gotta say this, but one of the main differences between, like, say, the Halo shields here and the kinetic barriers in Mass Effect, well, one of the many differences, but just focusing on the one here, is that Halo shields, they are always active, like, they are always constantly surrounded by this extra layer here, whereas both the Mass Effect kinetic barriers, they only quickly trigger once the suit detects incoming objects. Yeah, it's a small little trivia there, so that's a key. That's because of the power source. But yeah, it's like I like seeing this pattern here. They're delving into the lore a bit. Yeah. Yep. And shields held out from the blast, but why did they stop shooting? That's not a complaint. Why they stopped shooting? Okay, you see that? Okay, even that, it should have come up a bit more like that. Probably would have hit her. And here's another little complaint I got here. And this is more of a little nitpick here, so ignore it. But, I don't see any little battle damage happening to the pod. Like, okay, yeah, those things can resist re-entry, true, but a lot of that resistance is burned away here, and plasma burns hotter. I guess it would have been too much here, but to animate the pod melting in certain parts here, like being evaporated, showing the plasma burns and everything. But even so, some scorch marks at the very least to make it look like this thing has been hit by plasma. And let's go back to what she's saying. We are hope. Yep. Whew, boy, she probably had to take some anti-radiation meds after being that close here, because, yeah, fun fact, people, for those of you who don't know, plasma grenades, they do release a lot of radiation, lethal radiation there. So, oh boy. So she's gonna have to go through a lot of medical check big time, obviously, which no doubt they did. And there we go, in the lights happening here. First of all, I do like that scene here where the Spartans are helping. It's showing that, yeah, contrary to popular belief, not even the Spartans 2s were invincible. Yeah, Master Chief, he was, well, even he had issues. Even he had close calls here. Even though he had plot armor, he had a lot of close calls here, and a lot of Spartans did die. Like, yeah, we say Samuel, but there are plenty who are killed by hunters. I remember, was it Kai City 4? Well, yeah, the Fall of Reach, stuff like that. In a first strike, one of the Spartans got literally torn up by a brute shot here, like literally the cavity, her right through the arm and everything, and chest completely exposed. Trust me, Spartans. Yeah. That being said, this is a nice scene right here, and this scene right here is like, look at the size of the difference between their hands. I mean, yeah, she's probably like a teenager here, still still got a bit of ways to grow here, but wow, I can't help but see this and think of that scene in the old BioShock trailer where the Big Daddy puts a hand out for the little sister and she takes it. It's like, wow, it's like, give me that kind of angle, please. So yeah, it's like seeing the Spartans like this, it's kind of refreshing and a reminder to us that while the video games and such make them out to be like unstoppable juggernauts, the other expanded universe stuff makes it quite clear that despite all the training, despite the equipment here, despite how strong they are, they're still mortal. And many people, you guys would say Spartans never die. Spartans never die, something like that here, or like they're just missing in action, or I think an old saying was they just go to hell and regroup or something. But even Halsey would say, yeah, if only that was true. Like, and when Halsey alone discredits that statement, the creator of the Spartans, yeah, sorry. But again, seeing that and everything
We are unstoppable.
together, mm-hmm.
Candidates, are you ready? Yes, ma'am. I can't hear you.
Yeah.
Again.
The one thing I can say about the Spartan armor is that it all looks like it was made by Oni Materials Group. Yeah, they're the ones that make the armor that pretty much everyone, from the hardcore to those only casual fans say, this is how Spartan armor should look like, this is how it should be, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that's why the armor actually looks so different. It's because the armor post-war was made by several other private companies here. Like, the Chief's armor was made by Oni in-house. But even then, during the war, select private companies were given the license to make their own armor, and after the war, they branched out even more. Like, we even see in Halo 5 Guardians here, we get examples of some old Spartan tech being released to the civilian market.
Good. Who's first?
Yeah, nice. I'm just curious to know, how is the that Halo Showtimes show coming along? So yeah, we got Halo December 8th, and just in time for Christmas. I still want the collector's edition. Have they released a collector's edition yet? What's gonna have? Nah, they haven't. Microsoft and everything. So, people, I'm excited for this. Like a lot of people here, I had no issues whatsoever with the gameplay demo build they showed off in E3 a few years ago. People went crazy. Oh my god, the graphics look terrible. That Phantom looked terrible, stuff like that. Yeah, it looked terrible because guess what? It's like pre-alpha shit here. They are just showing off gameplay, i.e. the shooting, the killing. So of course, a lot of the background, a lot of the vehicles and stuff, a lot of the textures and graphics were going to look bad. Because it was a game. It was a video about a game that's still cooking in the oven. They just give us a small preview on gameplay. That's what we gotta focus on. Yeah, it's like but people complain about like the graphics and stuff like that. It's like, okay, yeah, you think they don't know that here? Yeah, I mean, right now, they say right now, okay, we listen to the fans, everything like that, but no. Micro, like, 343, they knew the graphics were not gonna be that great. We're gonna be subpar. Because that wasn't the point of that little presentation. Boy, people will complain about anything, even stuff that doesn't matter for what's being shown here. Again, a game play. Don't focus on the graphics and everything. Don't focus on something like the lack of some animation, some characters like they do with that brute. A quick shot of that brute here. It's like, we know it's not good. It's not pretty. It's not good. It's not well because it's not done. We know that. We don't need to be told. But you know what? Go ahead and tell us. Vent out here. It's like, okay, everything you're telling us, we already knew. I'm pretty sure that's what goes on behind the scene here. It's like, they put on a face here. It's like, yes, we heard you guys. Thank you. And then behind closed doors, like, yeah, they just pretty much told us everything we already knew. Everything we knew here. It's like, yeah, so you were right. They complained about everything we knew, and they didn't talk about the gameplay at all. Wow. That's the culture today here with just hate-filled culture complaining about everything and without talking about the main subject matter. Well, so yeah, everyone, I like what I'm seeing so far, and even though, again, I don't play multiplayer. I hate multiplayer. Because, yeah, it's like the game forgets to be a game whenever I play PvP. I hate that. It's so fun. It's so fun. I don't have fun there. So, thank you for watching. As always, comment about what you all thought. Like, subscribe for more videos. Till next one, this is Mecha-san, logging out.